Hi everyone, thank you for joining me today for the new episode of the podcast A Journey into Fraud Prevention. Today I have another guest and we're going to speak a lot about AI and deepfakes. And I want to introduce Konstantin. Konstantin, can you introduce yourself for people who don't know you, please?
Hi, my name is Konstantin Simonchik, and I'm Chief Scientific Officer at IDR&D and co-founder of this company. We specialize in advanced biometric technologies for fraud prevention and digital identity verification. I personally spent over a decade working on innovations in biometric, anti-spoofing, AI-driven security solution for banking, finances. So I'm usually helping people and businesses verify trust in digital first world, whether it's through facial recognition, voice biometric, liveness detection, or any other AI-driven advanced security solutions.
First of all, I want to say I'm really impressed with your LinkedIn. Every time when you posted something, I'm just like open my mouth and just like impressed how the technology changed nowadays, how many things can do with a like a laptop and AI combination right now, and I believe it's like price for this combination like reduced dramatically, which is simplified word for fraudsters, which we're gonna speak a bit later on. But just once again, it is impressive for your post. I'm really looking forward when you post something because all these videos they're just like heartbreaking for me as a fraud specialist. But from understanding what's applicable right now, it is so impressive.
Thank you so much. Really happy to hear that feedback. I'm working on LinkedIn specifically and usually post some videos, some insights from what we are actually doing at IDR&D, what our folks doing in security area, how we implement AI solutions, and much more important, I'm looking on that from educational point of view. I'm trying to post educational videos, sharing some very specific information related to digital trust, deepfakes, AI-driven solutions in security space.
Yeah. I only have for right now like one questions, can I trust that's actually you right now in the video? You're not replaced by any AI solutions?
Actually, no, I'm joking, but I can demonstrate how I can convert my face to some celebrity, for example.
Yeah, we can do in a
Yeah, I
second
can do
because I
it.
want to really want to hear like what does fraud prevention mean to you personally and professionally?
Okay. Let me start with answering your question. Well, the fraud in modern space, there are a lot of trends in fraud right now. And fraud prevention, especially in the age of AI, is about protecting the integrity of our digital interactions. It's not longer just catching criminals. It's about staying on step ahead by anticipating how emerging technologies like AI and deepfakes might be exploited. For example, there is a high growing trend calling deepfakes, and this is really a threat for banking solutions, for financial institutions right now. AI has incredible potential to enhance security from the other point of view, but it also creates sophisticated threats that can deceive even the most vigilant individuals or organizations. So, from my point of view, fraud prevention is about leveraging AI to fight AI. So this is now an ongoing battle between different AI-based tools. The AI tools which are used to create the fraud and the AI-based tools that specifically developed to detect the fake content, authenticate the genuine users, distinguish between AI and genuine user, and ensure trust in digital ecosystems. So it's a race right now. For me, it's a race between AI and AI.
You know, like right now you're working a lot on fraud prevention, but I believe your background it's not only suitable for fraud prevention area. And if I'm not mistaken, you used to work in the companies and you working on completely different angle, working with the data. What actually like happens in your background that's catch you that you want to join fraud prevention and stay here for long?
This is actually a very, very interesting space. I mean, the AI. Well, let me start with like definition on what are the deepfakes, what are the AI-based fraud. Deepfakes is a kind of subset of artificial intelligence that leverage deep learning to create highly realistic fake content, images, videos, audios, and so on. By training neural networks on large dataset or of real-world content, deepfakes can convincingly alter appearances, voices, or behaviors. So, while they can be used for creative, it also poses significant risk when weaponized for fraud, misinformation, or identity theft. I'm highly interested in neural networks, and my background is about having a PhD in computer science and starting my career with voice recognition, voice anti-spoofing, and then facial recognition and facial anti-spoofing, based on a deep neural networks. This is actually my passion. I mean, the deep neural networks, training of deep neural networks, creating teams of which are focused on creating a solution based on a deep neural networks and leveraging AI. I was involved in different competitions held by ISV spoof community and NIST, National Institute of Standard of Technologies of USA. And our teams, the teams that were working under my supervision in our company at IDR&D specifically, got several top positions in different competitions, machine learning competitions. So I'm really very proud of that. And this is what is behind. This is creating and training neural networks and participating in different competitions in different domains with the aim to create the best of the best solutions on the market.
That's great. That's really impressive story and all competition that you participating in the past. Like more questions about what happens for the past couple years. But correct me if I'm wrong. Voice spoofing and deepfakes, they like barely used, let's say, before COVID or like
Mhm.
3 years ago. They use it, but it was very expensive, I believe, to create something like that, and a lot of resources supposed to be needed to create something to pass all controls. However, in the past 2 years, when we see OpenAI arrive in the markets, NVIDIA just like helping everyone to simplify their life with the machine learning, this is in the start of this trend, and right now it's still not on a peak. It's still growing months over months, and I believe we see more and more cases like that when someone bypass a lot of controls from huge banks or headphones. And my main question is to you: do you see this trend is close to the peak, or it's still far away, and we see it's going to be scale up near future?
Well, actually, yes, the COVID period forced the development of AI driving solution and especially the remote KYC. This is know your customer systems, which provide remote onboarding, for example. So yes, the COVID boosted that a lot. And specifically when it comes to the history of IDR&D, we established the company just a couple years before the COVID, and then it boosted our company because we were focused on specifically some AI-based modules for eKYC, IDV, and other kind of remote digital onboarding solutions. Now we're observing the growth of deepfakes, especially caused by elections. The recent researchers show that countries that have an elections in the past couple of years experiencing the very high growth of deepfake, and this is what is going right now. This is the modern type of threats: the deepfakes, AI-based spoofing, and more important, synthetic fraud, when fraudsters combine the real data of real persons and fabricated data, for example, synthesized faces, synthesized documents, AI generated part of documents, digital manipulation of documents. So this is what's going right now.
It's great. Once you start speaking about synthetics fraud on your background, it's like police coming. Quite interesting consequences for this speech. Yeah, and want to ask you if you have this opportunity to show us any examples how it might work. Is it something you're
Okay.
able to do right now?
Well, actually, I'm using the virtual camera talking to you. I'm talking through the virtual camera, so you probably might miss that because it looks very realistic. It's really me right now, but the signal is coming through the virtual camera. This is the software that could be easily downloaded and installed on any PC, any laptop. But the most important thing is that the virtual camera might have additional capabilities like transformer the face, for example. And there are another third-party tools that might be combined with the virtual camera on any standard PC, which allows to transform the face, for example. I'm using the virtual camera and one more tool, which is called Deepfake Live, and I can transform my face in real time, for example, that way. Uh, I
It's your
believe you
favorite
know.
character, I guess.
Yeah, it looks very realistic. Yeah, you may see that. It looks very realistic from the first point of view. However, the trained algorithm can easily catch that because it still has some artifacts, maybe invisible for human eye, but visible for the algorithm. I can even change the face. I can mix this face with my face. This is I'm mixing that. I'm back to my original face, and now back to the face of the celebrity. I can even change the face very easily by clicking several buttons. Let me do that right now. This one, yeah, it looks like a very realistic face, but it's actually the so-called face swap technology. Let me back to my original face right now.
And I'm so impressed because I remember in the past everyone like told in a message and wrote a post that if you start to move your face or like up and down, it's like
Mhm.
it's not moving with you. However, what you presented show that it doesn't matter. You even like show on your face that you do something and it's actually stretching the photo. That's mean nowadays technologies they kind of like so changed that give opportunity to bypass like some controls.
Yeah, well, the face swap technology works in real time. So if I move my face, it works in a way where in real time, if you have some computational resources, I'm not using the laptop right now. I'm using the PC with the GeForce on a board. So it's able to transform the face by doing some specific steps. It detects the landmarks on my face in real time. The landmarks are points in the eye corners, on the corners of my mouth, nose, and so on. So it detects fully the emotional picture of my face, and then it puts the fake face according to this emotional state, to this picture, to this set of landmarks, and put the and back original lighting and coloring that my face has. So it actually works in real time, spending about several milliseconds to do all these steps because it leverages the heavy GeForce 4070 that I have on a board. So I can do that in real time with realistic quality. The one Probably the one hint that might be used to detect whether this is a real face or not is just ask to put a finger in front of my face. You can see now that this is fake face because my finger disappeared on that fake face.
But I believe it's just like matter of time because I mean the moving face was like things that to spot like probably a year ago or like
Yeah,
half a year
now we
ago.
can
And
do
right
that.
now it's worked perfectly. So the next step with the finger, I believe, gonna be resolve themselves. That's put me in a spot with the next questions like what industries like not necessarily financial supposed to do to protect themselves from changing and scale up these problems of deepfakes.
Well, I could highlight two solutions at least. Well, there is clear trend of the deepfakes on the market. I mean, on a security market. Uh, it takes a small portion of fakes actually, but its training is growing. First of all, these are specific solutions that designed to catch the deepfake specifically. These are usually the software modules that might be installed in any AKYC system as a feature or as a separate product, and working in real time they or in offline, they can analyze the video signal, the video feed or an image, and detect whether it has the specific artifacts which are very specific for deepfakes. And usually these solutions are based on neural networks or even heavy neural networks that can do that detection. That they usually take in the entire image and analyze each portion of this image step by step, whether it looks like a real image coming from a real camera, because real cameras have specific, for example, we call it background noise, or it's coming from or a signal which is analyzed coming from the deepfake generator, which can generate the other type of specific noise on a picture invisible by human eye but visible by the algorithm. So the first step is protect by leveraging specific deepfakes algorithms, modular features within eKYC, for example. The other step that might be used is detecting the actual path of the video feed coming to the system, because the legitimate video feed is coming from the camera, not from the other source. Usually fraudsters, well, when it comes to talking whether this is a deepfake or not deepfake, when it comes to the spoofing of the system, the fraudsters generate the deepfakes, and deepfake is a digital representation. Deepfake isn't something physically available. This is digital image or digital video, so it should be injected into the system in some way other than the legitimate video feed, and we call it digital injection or video injection attack. So the other way to protect your system is detect whether there is a biometric injection or video or digital injection presented in your system or not. And these are usually the other kind of modules that are taking the video feed and doing the analysis whether the video feed is original one, whether it has the original path through the system, or it has the other kind of path, like it has been recorded, digitally manipulated, then stored on a storage, and then reproduced from a storage, avoiding the actual video camera presented on this in the system. So two ways: deepfake detection and injection attack detection.
That's actually quite interesting because never thought about it from that perspective that something was injected in the video. I just thinking like because I mean I'm probably barely understand from technical perspective how it works in 100%. I may have like about like 50-60% understanding how it works, but when you say something was injected, I realized that it's actually the things you probably need to spend most of the time on it right now because if we start to fixing problem, like if it's going to be fixed problem with additional movement things, it's still going to be injected. So probably it's one of the area how you easily can verify it. And another point, I believe we not see a lot of cases right now in the public about like deepfakes, because fraudsters still try it, and they probably start to create a lot of effort to populate this technology across regular consumers. If people start to, like a joke, try to do a lot of these things, and they'll probably try to bypass some systems, etc., etc. That's creating kind of like mess for a lot of labeling on machine learning side for a lot of companies. And once it's going to be a bit more mess, I believe frosters realize, okay, now it's time, and this we will see more and more highlights on the public that someone bypassing system, like one of the you might remember in Hong Kong beginning of the year, someone like about millions of dollars sent via video call. So yeah, it's
$25 million. Yeah, they
yeah,
installed.
that's what's very cool. I mean, not for the company, but when you realize that someone like did that's a lot of work and they got a huge cash at the end, that's impressive. It's not try to use fake stolen credit cards when you can get from cards sometimes just like $50. You're getting like in one tranche for a huge amount of money, which validated by company, and any banks say, yeah, go for it, we don't mind.
Yeah, that's huge.
and, and have you ever been victim of fraud, speaking about like fraud?
Yeah, actually, I've been many years ago. Once I was withdrawing money from the ATM, and I received an SMS message stating that I was simultaneously withdrawing money from another ATM located very far from the place I've been at that moment. So, fortunately, I had a receipt from the ATM I was actually using, and I was in a completely different part of the city at that moment. So I simply provided this receipt as an evidence to my bank, and they investigated the case. So thankfully, the bank acknowledged that this issue, and refunded my money. But it was really an experience that made me even more aware of the vulnerabilities in financial systems and the importance of the fraud prevention. So, fortunately, again, I had an evidence in my hands, and that was evidence of the location that they used to detect that the location of me at that moment and the location of the ATM that used the fraudsters were in different place of the city simultaneously, and they used that information. And the most interesting part here is that the actual fraud preventing system, they're using the same algorithms. They're using your location when you're doing something within the, for example, online banking application. They can identify your IP, your location at that moment, and they might use that to protect you against fraudsters that might leverage your credentials in other location.
So someone just like duplicate. So your card was compromised somewhere. They duplicate card and
I
they did it exactly the
I
same
checked
time as you
everything
did.
here.
I mean, that's really fortune cases, and yeah, it's because I believe if it happens and you don't have this receipt on your hands, banks probably start to decline and say that you withdraw money because you gave card someone else, and they cashed out money. Even if they look on the camera on the ATMs, I don't believe they can recognize, because I saw a lot of the videos from them, and it's very hard to understand if it's like who is like a gender of the person. I mean, I probably have last one questions. It's a lot of people right now who just on the last courses of university, they try to figure out what they need to learn. So, if you give an advice for a person who right now like consider to join fraud prevention or
Mhm.
probably any analytical industry, what's the knowledge you believe is very important going to be for the next 3 to 5 years?
Oh, it's definitely AI. AI is the only trend right now in a lot of spaces. This it creates new markets, and I fully believe that the future of fraud prevention will be very close to AI. It will be doing by AI. The AI algorithms will be using to do that. So please feel free to go to AI, learn about it, and you will have the most powerful instruments to prevent fraud prevention in the future.
That's great advice. And I believe a lot of people right now are already studying this one and try to figure out how it works. But thank you so much for all this explanation, for presenting examples of deepfakes, and share with us what actually two things company need to do to protect themselves nowadays. Please, everyone who watch or listen this episode, check out the Konstantin LinkedIn, because as I mentioned in the beginning, it is quite rare post that you can find on LinkedIn, which actually informative and give you like understanding of what happens in the industry right now. And Konstantin, thank you so much for joining us today. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.